Ahead of the Paris Climate Summit, India has pledged to help lead international efforts to curb carbon emissions. My colleague Noopur Tiwari caught up with the Environment Minister Prakash Javdekar in Paris for this exclusive interview.
Mr. Javadekar, you were here in Paris only a few weeks ago, and we asked you what you were telling the developed world, and you were pretty firm in saying that you're asking for lifestyle changes, you're asking for carbon space and all of that. But how strong really is India's position now, and will you be able to go back with an assurance for carbon space, for climate finance, as well as technology transfer, a long list there, but specifically carbon space?
This time I will put it in a bit differently. If the developed world doesn't take care of providing carbon space, that means development opportunity for the developing world. Where will markets be? If we want to sustain markets and grow markets, you will need developing world to develop fast and allow them that space, and that means essentially a carbon space where only 1,000 gigatons is left. So unless some space is vacated by the developed world, who have occupied 2/3 of the space, the development space will not be available for the developing world, and therefore then agreements won't happen. Therefore, I think for the better of the world and for betterment of the earth overall, and for markets and for business opportunities in future, developed world will definitely create that atmosphere and
so you're saying
ambience.
It's also in their interest.
It is their interest.
Right.
It's not just by claim. It's their interest.
But I asked you how strong our position was actually to argue this, and that might be a tricky question for you. But just before you came to Paris, while you were still in Delhi, you said, we are not opposing, we are proposing. Clearly, also a response to what just a few days ago John Kerry had said, which reflected perhaps a kind of nervousness or perhaps an effort from the developed world to paint India as a troublemaker.
No, but that was very not only unfortunate, very unfair and untrue.
So are we getting bullied here, in short, very simply?
If somebody tries to bully, India won't be, and you can't bully India. That the message is very clear. What we are saying is, we are very positive, we are with open mind, we are giving alternative suggestions, we are not opposing, we are proposing. So when we are proposing so many issues, and Solar Alliance has come into effect today, so this is how when India is very positive, world needs to be more positive.
Also, the success or the failure of the agreement will also depend on how long it will last for, because 2030 is really around the corner, and scientists have been saying that beyond that period, nations will have to cut as much as 4% per year and also be carbon neutral by 2070. So how long is this agreement going to last?
See, whether you can decarbonize or become carbon neutral depends upon the available technologies. If technologies are available, nobody will like carbon, nobody likes carbon. But when there are no other so people go for coal. So what I am saying is that this should be a durable agreement. We must trust each other. There are already well-established systems of analysis and consultation for developing world and assessment and review for developed world, and I think that system just started. Let us give few cycles more, and then we can think of something else. But today, what the system we have is good and okay.
So one thing, let's imagine a hypothetical, and I'm saying it because I don't want you to say that it's a hypothetical question. If the developed world actually does say that, okay, the climate finance that they have to contribute to, they say okay to that, they say okay to everything, then in that scenario, will India go to fully commit to long-term goals and to go fully renewable? What will happen then?
I will say today we have taken more renewable target or non-fossil fuel, particularly non-fossil fuel targets. Our targets are more than US targets.
How?
US,
so if you can give
they are only 30% reaching in 2030. We are reaching non-fossil fuel share to 40%, they should actually follow India now. A. And second, we have already made our targets very clear and they are ambitious and comprehensive. Now developed world has to walk the talk.